Dr. Bill Crawford here, psychologist, speaker, author of 7 books, host of 2 PBS specials. We're going to bring you another tip on how to help you create the life you want. Specifically, how to use my life from the top of the mind philosophy to bring more clarity, confidence, creativity into everything you do. Today I want to look at our connections with others, how we can maximize those. Because I think we all want to be influential in other people's lives. We like to be seen as someone that people listen to and look to, and we like to be able to, be seen as knowledgeable. And yet I think sometimes that can get in our way. There's a quote that I'm sending out to those 6,000 folks on my quote list, which, by the way, if you would like to receive one of my favorite quotes each week, it's free. All you got to do is go to my website, billcrawfordphd.com, or just Google Bill Crawford Ph.D. I'll come up on the first page. Hit the subscribe button, put your name and email address in, and each week I will send you one of these quotes along with a short video about how to apply it to life. So this is one of my quotes. It kind of goes like this. Talks about kind of the need to be right. It says, when our need to be seen as knowledgeable gets in the way of our ability to be seen as caring, our relationships with others suffer. When our need to be seen as knowledgeable gets in the way of our ability to be seen as caring, our relationship with others suffer. And I think that's important to those of us who want to have good relationships with people, who want to be able to engage people in a way where they see us as someone they want to listen to, someone they respect. And yet, sometimes when we have this need to be right, this need to be seen as knowledgeable, that can get in the way of that. This is a fancy way of saying, hey, people don't really care how much you know until they know how much you care. So why is that important? Why do we have to care? Well, because until people can know that we really care about them, they're not absolutely sure that what we're saying is truly valuable for them. They maybe know how it's valuable for us, but hey, how is it going to be valuable for them? That's really what they're listening for. And I think the word that often gets in the way of us being effective is that word need to be right, need to be seen as knowledgeable. We all want to be seen as knowledgeable. Frankly, we all want to be right. But the whole idea of needing to be seen that way, I think, is what gets in our way. Because the word need means if this doesn't happen, something bad will happen. We need to breathe, we need to eat, we need to have a place to sleep. If all of that doesn't happen, there's a problem there. So that need drives us to make sure those things happen. But when we need to be right, it's really driven often by a fear of being wrong or a fear of not being seen as knowledgeable. And if some of us believe that our only value, our only thing that we can have confidence in is our knowledge or the information we bring to a certain topic, if that's all we have and people don't see that as valuable, then we get really frightened that they don't see us as valuable. And then we start to wonder, are we just going to, die alone, become a bag lady, someone's going to steal our bag, they're going to die. So the whole idea of being seen as right or knowledgeable for some people is really, really, really important because it's driven by that need. What if we decide that we all want to be seen as knowledgeable and we want to be seen as caring? We want another person to listen to us and know that we care about them, that we know we have their best interest at heart as well as ours. If so, we might want to drop that need to be right or the need to be seen as knowledgeable, especially when we see it's getting in the way of them really connecting with us. When that happens, like when we say something and somebody goes, well, really? I don't know. Maybe we could take that as good information. Rather than doubling down and trying to convince them of the righteousness of our perspective, maybe we could go, oh, okay, well, what am I missing here? What's in the way here of you seeing this as valuable? Get curious about their resistance. Because what they might tell us is, well, it just seems like this. And we could go, oh, okay, well, that makes sense. Let me address that. The whole idea of being willing to listen, being curious about another person's perspective, and taking that as valuable versus something we have to argue against or something we have to convince others that we are right and they are wrong. Because if connecting with others is really our highest purpose, versus just being right anytime, all the time, because frankly, we can be right in a vacuum and it's not that rewarding. We can sit in a room by ourselves and be right, but is that really the life we want to create? isn't most of what we do about connecting with others? And don't we want to maximize that connection? Which means if we see something getting in the way of that connection, maybe a need to be right, a need to be seen as knowledgeable, we want to make sure we address that in a more purposeful way, in a way we would recommend to someone we love. For those of you who follow my Life from the Top of the Mind philosophy, you know this need to be right, or really a fear of being wrong, or fear of not being seen as knowledgeable, comes from this lower 20% of the brain. That's the part of the brain that has us worried and concerned and frightened and anxious and depressed and annoyed and angry. And when we're in a situation where we need to be safe by being angry or frustrated, whatever, then that's terrific. But when we're connecting with others, that's not a dangerous situation. That's not a fight or flight situation. We don't need to engage this lower brain in order to be successful. We need to engage what I call the top of the mind. This clear, confident, creative, curious, caring part of who we are. Because when people can see us as confident and caring, curious and knowledgeable, then they become really interested in what we have to say, and the connection with that person becomes stronger and more meaningful. Therefore, if you're wanting to make your connections with people stronger, more meaningful, more rewarding to everyone, I suggest we kind of look at this need to be right, this need to be seen as knowledgeable, and make sure we're not feeding that. You know, there's a quote that came to me a long time ago. It says, often it's not what we feel, but what we feed that creates our experience of life. We don't want to feed the need to be right. Hope you're finding these videos valuable. I'm having a great time bringing them to you. If so, please hit the like button. You know how YouTube, Pinterest, Facebook, LinkedIn, love it when you like it. If you feel it's valuable to your friends, share it with them. If you're not subscribed to me on iTunes or YouTube, or you're not a friend of me on Facebook or connected with me on LinkedIn, feel free to do that. I post one of these each week to all the social media, and I'd love to have you as a part of that process. In the meantime, here's to you, bringing more clarity, confidence, creativity to everything you do, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.